functions in Kotlin typically look something like this. In this function called say hi, what we'll actually have is a print line statement that says hi. And so if I were to call this from the main function, we're going to go ahead and see hi printed down here to the output screen. It says hi. Now, unfortunately, with a lot of languages, this bracket and this bracket is kind of verbose for just this simple statement. Now, of course, this function could have multiple different things in here, but let's just assume it did one thing for now. So Kotlin actually has a concept known as a single expression function. So we could do this here, say hi, is equivalent to what we had before. What this means is I have a function, its name is say hi, it doesn't have any parameters, and its body of the function is equivalent to this stuff over here, which is on the right-hand side of the equals sign. So inside the body of the function is just going to be print line. So if I run this, we'll see the same exact thing here. So we can actually see hi. Since Kotlin supports functions inside of functions because functions are actually objects, we can actually declare a function inside of another function, which you could decide to do or not. And we'd say do work. Let's say we had a variable here called age equals 32. And then it said if age is less than 32, less than 21, we would go ahead and print out that the whatever person or whoever is less than 21. And otherwise, they are, say, eligible for whatever reason. Maybe you have some reason someone has to be over 21. Okay, so now if we were to call do work, if I were to try to, of course, type it here, do work has not been declared yet, so I can't call it. So I'm going to call it from down here. And if I run this, we're going to see say hi, and then we'll see eligible because the person is eligible. Let's set this to 12 and run it. And you're going to see that it says less than 21. Now we can also perform, this is kind of, multi-line statement, but since we can use single line if statements, we can also turn this into a single line expression. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these brackets here, basically all of them. And what we'll do is kind of line this stuff up here and turn this into a single line expression. And so again, the age is 12. If it's less than 21, it'll print line here, else it'll print this other thing. If we run it, we can actually see less than 21. And of course, if I change this to 32, run it again, you'll see that the output is eligible, which is the other part of the statement here. So you can clean up a lot of your code by using single line expressions. There is a heuristic that you should follow though. Let's close this window over here. And you'll notice the right-hand margin with this little gray line here. If you find your code approaching this over here, so let's just go ahead and type eligible a couple of times. If for whatever reason eligible, you typed a bunch of stuff here, goes beyond the right margin, it's usually advisable that you turn this, instead of this, into an old-fashioned multi-line function, just so that it's more readable. So here you'd want to go ahead and, of course, add your brackets, and you'd kind of do this thing right here. And as we've kind of seen before, and we'll put this down here. Oops. We'll clean this up a little bit. So there we go. So now if the age is less than 21, we're going to print line. Otherwise, we're going to print eligible, eligible. Again, now the reason is because it's the right-hand margin. It's just a common coding practice. If your code goes beyond that right-hand margin, you should figure out a way to break it into a new line. And usually if you're using a single line expression, you'll want to go ahead, and that's usually an indicator that you should probably use a regular function body instead of a single line expression.